Hi, Albert here with Mainland Cycle Center. Today we're going to look at the 2016 Kawasaki ZX10R, and this is the KRT edition in ABS. And I got to tell you, when I first saw pictures of this KRT edition, I really didn't care for the graphics that much. It really just didn't look all that great to me. But in person, wow, it looked completely different. It just really pops. I love the graphics on this bike. So just the pictures do not do it justice at all. It is really a beautiful bike, really aggressive graphics on these. Of course, these new ZX10Rs for 2016, Kawasaki has made tons of changes. On the outside, this bike may not look all that different from the previous model ZX10R, but boy, is it different. New front forks, got the Showa balance-free fork, so you'll notice this new reservoir here on the fork. And I won't pretend to tell you that I understand what they're doing there. There's a real science to the suspension, and all I know is it's the latest and greatest, and it's what they're doing on these bikes. And but very cool looking for sure, that red anodized reservoir there. So what we've got is Brembo front brakes. I believe these are M50 monoblock calipers. I believe they're called M50s. They are monoblocks. They are radially mounted. They are 4-piston. And then you also have the Brembo front brake rotors. They're not pedal style rotors with the cuts like we see on the previous models, but it does have a little ridge down the center of the brake rotor that allows a little more surface area there. It is a floating rotor. You can see the rivets here between these two pieces of the brake rotor. But and then it also has the Brembo front brake master cylinder to match those Brembo front brake calipers. And then also you've got stainless braided brake lines on there. The front fairing changed a little bit. I like the fact that Kawasaki has moved the windshield. On the previous model ZX10s, the windshield kind of mounted here on top, and it allowed bugs and stuff to get under there. So if you're a clean freak like I am, I had to take the windshield off to clean the bugs out from there. So I like the fact they've gone to a more traditional windshield mounting on there. Of course, these are ram air. It still has this little light there that's pretty cool looking at night. But a little different shape. Got this little spoiler looking deal on the front of the fairing there. So look at this other side. So let's talk about the motor. Of course, inline 4-cylinder motor, fuel injected, ram air, liquid cooled, you know, standard stuff there. The crankshaft is now a pound lighter than the previous model. The camshafts are half a pound lighter. The camshafts are now forged. Or I'm sorry, they're billet steel camshafts as opposed to being cast. And so more strength out of those camshafts, which let them make them lighter. New rear shock, so it also has a balance-free shock on the back. The new Showa balance-free shock. Right here is your ABS motor on this model. You can tell if one of these has ABS real quickly by just looking for this line running right here. If you see that line, then the bike has ABS. Of course, the ABS system that Kawasaki uses on these bikes is very sophisticated. It's the Kawasaki KIBS, or Kawasaki Intelligent Braking System, which is more sophisticated, say, than the ABS system that you might find on our Ninja 650. So a little different system. It's faster in how many times it communicates and so forth. LED rear tail light, really like the shape of that. The tail section is changed up quite a bit. You've still got that stainless braided brake line on the rear, but in the rear you've got a Nissan single piston caliper. You just don't need a lot of brakes in the back. But 3-spoke wheels. I love the new graphics with the little 1000 on them. On there, it really matches with the rest of the graphics on the bike. Previous model ZX10s, the footrests were adjustable. That's gone. You'd have to buy rear sets now to do that. The bar ends are a little different style. I really like the look of those. I don't know if you could retrofit that. You probably could retrofit those, order those from Kawasaki and put them on your older ZX10. They look really cool. I'm not into some of the billet anodized eBay stuff. I really like the factory stuff, and that would change one up a little bit. People who knew what they were looking at would notice that they were a little different. It does come standard with the tank pad. Of course, KRT means Kawasaki Racing Team, so the KRT edition. Instrumentation looks mostly the same. Up here, this bike's not serviced, so I won't be able to turn it off. But from here, looks mostly the same. Does have the steering dampener standard, and this is an electronic steering dampener. I say it's electronic. It has an electronic valve in it that lets it adjust for speed. Really nice detailing on the steering stem nut. The red anodized fork caps really look good. Very similar here on the handlebar controls. You know, I did the video on the gray 10 that we got in, and one of the guys really commented that he couldn't believe this bike didn't have a fuel gauge. And it does have a fuel warning light. It does have 2 trip meters, so you can reset your trip meter when you fill up with gas. To me, I didn't think it was a big deal. They don't have a fuel gauge. Like I said, it does have a fuel warning light. You know, it is a high performance bike. Anyway, if you want a touring bike with a fuel gauge, buy the Ninja 1000. But let's see, Brembo brake reservoir, but really just lots of changes to this bike. New exhaust. The exhaust pipes are thinner. It's a titanium alloy. Very high quality exhaust. The titanium alloy is actually stronger than the plain titanium, which lets them make them lighter and thinner. On this bike, I wouldn't change the header on this bike. You can do a race slip-on, eliminate the cat on this bike, and you'll have a really bad exhaust system, really. So without having to do a lot. So it's nice that it has a very high quality header on it. You know, these bikes are very high quality, made in Japan. You know, a lot of people don't understand there's a difference between Japan and China, but there's a huge difference. China is the dollar store, Japan is Lexus or Kawasaki, and so huge difference. A lot of times we tell customers made in Japan, they immediately think of China. Some people just don't understand, but Japanese stuff is very high quality, and these bikes are the highest quality bikes that Kawasaki has ever made. They're very, very good. The fit and finish is absolutely amazing on them, and they just keep getting better and better. All right, well, that's a look at this 2016 Kawasaki ZX10R KRT ABS edition bike. Just beautiful, beautiful bike. If you're interested in one of these, come and see us. We are Mainland Cycle Center. We're located in Marque, Texas. We're about 30 minutes south of downtown Houston, just off of I-45. You can find us online at mainlandcyclecenter.com, by phone at 409-948-4969, and we would just love it if you'd give us a call, shoot us an email, or even better, come by and see us in person here at Mainland Cycle Center, where we'd love to help any way that we can. Hey, thanks for watching.